Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
What's up, Butterfly?
Hey, Firefly, what's going
We
on?
have an episode.
We have a rabbit hole.
We have a rabbit hole. I'm sorry.
This
It's a
is
rabbit hole.
this is a real rabbit hole.
This is a real rabbit hole.
And we are real certified rabbit holers.
You know what it is? We're bona fide.
We're bona fide. We don't have to be certified like Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan doesn't
He,
bona
he
fide us,
gave
but
it. He gave himself his own certification.
he gets mad and he goes, "These people going down these rabbit holes." But anyways, yeah. Today we're kind of talking about Erica Kirk again. We've been
Yeah,
kind of talking about her a lot, but you know what?
it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, Candace was like, "Nothing to see here. Let's move on."
Yeah, that's interesting. She goes down a lot of rabbit holes, but she refused to see that there was a rabbit hole here.
What do we
And
say?
there's definitely one.
What do we say? We go all the way to the Plaza Hotel in Vegas.
Right.
But what Candace Owens proves by not talking about Erica Kirk is that she goes to McLaren Airport and like parks there in the long-term parking.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So what are we going to talk about with Erica Kirk?
Well, I think this is like a multifaceted rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So I was kind of inspired to start talking about this more because we've sort of dabbled in this rabbit hole before. We've touched on this clone idea,
Yeah.
and I just saw that movie, The Island, the other
That's
night.
right.
Did you ever see that movie?
I did, yes.
It was with Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor. I love Ewan McGregor. I love him. He's so good.
Yeah.
He's got like so many different like facets
He was
to him.
cool in Trainspotting.
He's great. I loved him in that. There was a really funny movie that he was in with Renee Zellweger where it was like this 1960s. Do you remember that one? What was it called? It was
I
kind of
think
campy.
I think I remember that.
Oh, what
Was
was
that
it?
Catch Me If You Can or something like
No,
that?
I'll think of it in a minute. But
He is. He's
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 so funny.
funny.
He's
He's
funny.
funny, but he's also cool, and he can also play Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Yeah,
which is gnarly.
I know. He can be serious.
He's got range.
But yeah, he's got range. But so this movie was the premise is that it shows all these people are living in it appears to be kind of like a prison because they're not really allowed to go anywhere and they're all dressed exactly the same and they like line up to get their meals and stuff and
I remember that.
yeah, and they all want to win the lottery. They have
That's right.
a lottery like once a week or once a month. I wasn't quite sure on the
And
time.
doesn't the TV screen always show them where the winners have gone and they're on some Bahama island and they're
Well,
all stoked?
well, no, they announce like a person or a couple people each time of the winner of this lottery, and they get to go to the island.
They go to the
And
island.
they tell these people that this person's going to the island. And I was watching it, I'm like, is the island really where you want to go? And it turns out that going to the island is actually like
Unalive.
unalived. They're leading them to their demise because what they're doing is all of these characters are actually clones of some rich elite people who have paid a lot of money to have their clones. Like this is their insurance policy because when they become ill or die or they need some kind of like body part, these clones are used as like organ donors.
Yes, yes.
So basically, if you're rich enough and you can afford this and you're in this group, this elite group, you can have a clone. And when you need it, it's there.
There's
So,
probably like really smoking hot chicks that are like, oh my God, unless you have your own clone and submarine, don't even talk to me.
but so I was watching this and this movie is not new. I think it's like about 20 years old.
I think I saw it
Yeah,
a long time ago.
it's really good. But so it's about 20 years old and they were talking about this whole clone idea, and I started thinking, is this too far-fetched to be something that maybe possibly could they actually be doing something like this? And could they have been doing something like this for a very long time?
Well, Hollywood reveals the method.
Yeah.
And, I watched a movie over the weekend too that had a similar theme. I watched both Blade Runners. I
Mm,
watched the Blade Runner from 1983,
mm.
and then I watched the Blade Runner from 2017, which is a sequel. And they're called replicants in that.
Yeah. So they're basically clones.
They're clones.
Uh-huh.
And remember, we were talking about that dude who came out in Time Magazine, which is Total Culture Club, back in 1971.
Yeah.
And he said, "We do human cloning, and it's going to become an issue."
Yeah. So I was thinking about that because so he was talking about how they were already doing that in the early 70s.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking that they have probably been cloning people for decades. And they've probably perfected it a long time ago.
Yeah.
And they probably are doing this because I think the like rich elites, I like to call them
Mhm.
deletes. Um,
Mhm.
I think they're all psychopaths and they have this desire for immortality. They want to live
Yes.
forever. And so that's why they do really sick stuff like drink blood and you know, human sacrificing and stuff like that
Or
because
remember, like, Sandra Bullock goes on Ellen and she's like, "Well, I use the foreskin of Korean babies and it's cream for my face and it keeps me young."
yeah, right. Yeah, they do a lot of sick stuff because they are trying to live forever. And
Walt Disney freezes his head.
Walt Disney freezes his head. I mean, it made me think of Walt Disney too, because I'm like he probably has a cloned body out there, but he didn't want to like take a chance on maybe they
No,
screw up
remember we talked
with the
about that? All
brain.
he needs is a hard drive. He doesn't need the tower
Yeah.
and the keyboard.
So he's got his head frozen just in case they didn't quite get the whole thing right. But yeah, I don't know. I think that there's more to it than just like some science fiction Hollywood movies,
Well, Philip
you
K.
know?
Dick wrote Blade Runner, and a lot of because I studied. Remember, I got double major in college, so I had film and literature. So I take literature classes too.
Yeah.
And one literature class I took was American Lit, and we read Philip K. Dick
Oh.
books. And Philip K. Dick was a science fiction writer, kind of like L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh, okay.
L. Ron Hubbard, who started
Scientology.
Scientology.
So he's a science fiction writer and then he starts a religion.
Yes.
Interesting.
But Philip K. Dick didn't start a religion. He was just a cool dude who just had all these ideas. But I think Philip K. Dick was privy to the Culture Club plants.
I think so.
And when he wrote Blade Runner, it was called something Electric Sheep or something like that. And the replicants are used on a prison planet to just mine ore. So the elites use clones for slave labor.
Yeah. So that was another point that I kind of was thinking about when I was watching this movie. I think that basically the elites, their plan is to enslave us all. Like, you know, they want us enslaved in this digital prison where we
Yeah.
have no real freedom to go anywhere or spend money the way we
Freedom of
want.
speech.
Freedom of
You
speech.
don't get to have a platform. You don't get to have like agency or influence in our society.
No.
They tightly control that.
Yeah, they don't want they're gonna actually, I think, be limiting people with the carbon footprint. So you won't be able to like drive or even
No,
own a car.
no.
But I think the plan is to enslave us, and if they can, you know, clone themselves so that they have their extra parts when they need them, they're probably going to clone some of us to be their slaves to do some of the menial tasks that they'll need to have done, you
That's right. And we talk about how clones are good for prostitution because then you can just
know?
come inside, and then if they get pregnant, you just kill the clone. It's no big deal.
Scrap.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, this one caught an STD. We'll just go ahead and turn her off and then whatever, make another one. They like clones.
Yeah, it's kind of convenient.
And we talked about how they're gathering a lot of DNA. They had 23andMe. Have you ever looked into 23andMe?
That's gnarly.
Like the backstory of 23andMe
Sketchy.
is weird.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Well, I mean, I don't know that much, but I know that they were gathering data and then they went out of business and sold all the DNA to China.
It's like It's like we're gonna gather all this data and then oopsie, we're going out of business now and we don't need it anymore.
By the way, we sold
Like,
your DNA to China.
we have all your info and all your DNA, but we're
Why
just
does
out of business.
why does China want to procure like millions of people's DNA?
Right.
Why is that? Probably because there's large cloning operations in China.
And look at okay, so they got that all voluntarily.
Yeah.
So all of that info, people set actually I think they paid. They paid
Here you
to
go.
give away their DNA.
Here.
Yeah, so they got all of that without like having to force a or coerce.
Where else did they volunteer their DNA?
Well, the PCR tests. Yeah. So it's like people
Jamming a huge Q-tip up your nose, and people didn't question that. Wait a second, you can get my DNA from my saliva. I can just give you my mask.
people get in line
There
to
we
give
go.
up their DNA, to give up their freedom, to give up their body autonomy. I mean, people
I'm
like
not saying anything wrong. I don't have any problem with Palantir.
yeah, I mean, it's amazing that they actually who was it that said something about how you the thing with I think it was communism is the best way is you won't have to force anybody to do these things. They'll just voluntarily like,
Yeah.
give it all up.
Yep.
I mean,
We've
that's
talked about what's that word that you love?
yes,
Acquiesce. Acquiesce.
elegant word.
Well, see, acquiesce is how it happens.
Hmm.
And that's how you allow the prison to be put in place. And people are sleepwalking into it.
Yeah.
But what we're kind of talking about with this episode is there's evidence that they've been gathering data and doing cloning for several decades now. And Erica Kirk now might be a clone.
So okay,
And I think Charlie might have been a clone too.
yeah, so let's get into that. So we saw a few people have put out some videos showing that there was another Erica Kirk back in like the 60s and 70s.
Mhm.
She was called the First Lady of Florida
That's right.
because she was married to the governor of Florida at the time, whose name was Claude Kirk. Which is kind of weird.
It's flawed.
Yeah, and he was kind of in line to be a presidential candidate. And I guess he just like he got elected and showed up at the governor's ball or whatever. Like he was single, which to me, I think that's interesting enough too, because all of these like big leaders are always married,
Yeah.
right? You got to represent as a like a family man, And so
That's
to
right.
be in the 60s and 70s, a single man becomes governor. That seems a little out of the
I'm thinking he
character.
was in the Culture Club and he was assigned Erica Kirk as a wife. And then they used the same clone to assign a wife to Charlie Kirk decades later.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
So this woman's name was Erica Kirk,
Yeah.
and she looks
Identical.
exactly identical to the recent Erica Kirk. And she's in like a very similar high profile prominent position in the country, and it's like what are the odds that there would be somebody with the same name
And
that looks identical?
Candace wasn't the only controlled opposition that was like putting her up on a pedestal as like this beautiful goddess and let us just all love and adore her. It was remember Salty Cracker, like in the wake of Charlie Kirk's fake
I
death.
remember you talking about him.
He was just like, dude, I turned it on just to kind of get a sampling of like what people are talking about, and he was gushing about how wonderful Erica Kirk was, and just she's such a perfect woman. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
And just like so, I think the CO was putting out that Charlie and Erica were these perfect people,
Hmm.
and they were playing a role. I think that Charlie and Erica were clones, and their clones' role was to cobalt blue the Trump base. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
so.
Because their ethos blue pills the Trump base.
So I have another theory about these clones.
Tell me.
Okay. So with the Erica Kirk thing, there was this original Erica Kirk, like in the 60s and 70s, who looked just like her. So if this new Erica Kirk is that lady's clone, um, could it be possible that these people have clones and then these are like their insurance policies, which they talked about in that movie, The Island, for like in case something happens to them. They need a body part or whatever. Okay, so they have these clones just in case.
Could be.
But is it possible that they make these clones and then maybe those people never need them? Like maybe they never get sick or injured or anything. They don't need to access.
Got mothballed.
So they just like put them on a shelf.
It's mothballed for a few
They
decades.
save it for later.
Mm.
So maybe that's what happened with this Erica Kirk clone. Maybe she was the clone of the original Erica Kirk,
That's right.
and that lady never needed her. And so that clone just was on
I
the
think it's
shelf,
conceivable
and then they
because
brought her back out.
totally. And
Mhm.
why is that conducive? Is because we live in this media world where everything is people learn everything they know from a screen.
Right.
So they can have a clone. Maybe she just has that perfect image that's conducive to walkers, and they just go, "Urgh."
Well, you know what? So I just was thinking of, I don't know if this is an epiphany, but you know how the walkers and like most people are followers and
Yeah.
they gravitate towards something that's familiar.
Mm.
Um, we keep seeing like over and over again throughout the years this repetition of um these
Archetypes
people's faces and like in movies and stuff, like movie stars from
like
like
Keanu.
the 50s. There's like it seems like they've all been cloned because they keep showing up again, like they look exactly the same. And so I think maybe it's that, people get used to a certain look
I got
and they have to
epiphany.
keep repeating it. What?
Epiphany. What maybe they did. So it seems like around the late 60s, we started, if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly, we started being able to clone probably around the late 60s. So what if they were looking at people who their physical traits for one reason or another were very conducive for movies and television and screens? And they said, well, why don't we just take their DNA
Yeah.
and then we'll just keep them kind of on ice, and then we just create a clone every time we need to have a very important person in some type of a screen capacity.
That's what I'm saying because it's like I think what they like to do, like I know like casting directors in Hollywood and stuff, it seems like they're very lazy, like they keep picking the same people for every movie out there.
Keanu.
But I think that what they kind of do is it's like, well, this worked in this movie and people liked it, so let's put that person in the next movie. So
That's totally because people
yeah,
are kind of like if you sit down and you watch a movie and it's like an actor you've never heard of, you might be like,
yeah,
I've never heard of this guy.
yeah. But
Oh wait, no, that's Denzel. Okay, I'll watch it.
yeah, if it's an actor that you like,
Because people are like, I've
yeah,
even like that
yeah,
sometimes. Like if I like when I'm like selecting a movie that I'm gonna watch, I kind of take a glance at who's in it.
yeah.
Uh,
You wanna watch the movie, that has the actor in it that you like, you know?
like Ryan Gosling just appeals to me. He's probably like, that's right. He's probably a clone.
I don't really like Ryan Gosling.
So you know what? He probably is a clone playing a clone in Blade Runner.
Totally.
He's like, I am a clone. I'm like method acting.
Yeah.
Like, so anyways, what we are talking about here is this notion that the elites are the part of the elite plan, as I'm starting to kind of read the tea leaves here, is to enslave us and kill us. And then what they want is once all of us useless eaters have been exterminated, there's just going to be the elites and then a race of clones that will be service people
Mhm.
and servants. And we've talked about how they're conducive for like prostitution, or like what if you're getting a massage? A clone might be a good masseuse,
Yeah.
or like getting your nails done, like a manicurist. What do they
Mhm.
call those?
Manicurist.
Manicurist. So
Yeah.
maybe a manicurist, you could have a clone do that.
Right. Well,
It's like Bishop from Alien.
you know how sometimes you meet somebody who just seems totally, like, vapid and, like, soulless?
Yeah.
Like, they have like, there's just, like
They're wearing a mask.
yeah, like, lights are on, but nobody's home, like, there's just
Yeah.
nothing behind their eyes.
Oh my God.
Um,
So many people.
that makes me think of Megan Fox. Seems
Remember,
like there's nothing behind her
remember
eyes,
she was talking about how
or she's a psychopath.
I drink blood.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
But, like, you meet people in real life like that, and, like, remember the dad that, I was handing out the flyers at the vaccine, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Look at all these side effects that it could cause."
That's really interesting. I didn't know that. Come on, son. Let's go get the shots.
I mean, when you meet people that, like, just kind of seem like they have no soul, is it possible that maybe they're clones?
Totally. And you know what? That's a line from the Blade Runner.
Oh,
So Robin Wright Penn, she plays the like evil, kind of like, like Meryl Streep kind of plays these roles now,
yeah.
where it's like I've been in Hollywood for 45 years and now I have kind of a perma frown and I'm really mean.
Yeah.
That's like Robin Wright Penn. She's just like loves being a psychopath and she loves like telling people really
Maybe
bad
that's
news.
method acting too.
And she's like, I am this way. So, anyways, she's kind of like the boss in Blade Runner.
Uh-huh.
And so the Blade Runner is a replicant. And
Ooh.
that's Ryan Gosling, who, like we said, he's probably method acting. He's probably like, well, I am a clone. So, anyways, Ryan Gosling, who knows, maybe they found out that his physical attributes were conducive to being a big star. Maybe they're like, well, he's perfect. Look at his physical traits, you know? So, anyways, she's talking with him and she goes, because he's a replicant and his job is to go hunt down the out of control replicants. And he has the ability to decipher, oh, that person's a replicant and that's not a human being. So he has that
Discernment.
discernment. He has that discernment. And so she's talking to him and she's going, well, you've never had a soul and you're fine.
Mm.
And that's one of the lines. And you know how they reveal the method. So I think um, what we're talking about in this episode is with AI and cloning being a thing, you have to be able to separate yourself and say, what makes me as a human unique and valuable that they can't just create with AI and clones?
Right.
And it's a soul.
It is a soul because those people are basically NPCs.
They're
You know what I
NPCs.
mean? They're just characters that come into the world, the situation to, sort of like help your storyline, but they don't actually have their own story,
Remember
you
how
know?
we were talking about that barista episode where the baristas are striking at Starbucks?
Yeah.
And we were talking about how most of the Starbucks baristas are NPCs.
Yeah.
And you ever go up and talk, like, I'll go up and I'll
Maybe
just kind
they
of,
are. Maybe they are.
they are. And so what I like to do is kind of make them like short and like have a malfunction. So if you go, they go, how you doing today? And you go, well, my wife left me. I'm devastated. I think I'm gonna kill myself. And then you just kind of see how they react to that. They go, oh, okay. Well, do you want cream with your? And they don't have the ability to have human responses
Yeah.
that are outside of the box.
Right.
And I think that's what a soul allows you to do.
Right.
You can actually have a response to something that's outside of the box where it's like, you know, it's indicative of unique thought. Like somebody actually thinks for themselves and actually says something unique. NPCs don't do that.
They don't.
All of their responses are canned and they're all kind of Operation Mockingbird, like given to them from the media.
Yeah, totally.
Like if you say atmospheric rivers are really bad, they go, yep, oh, those big rainstorms are really bad, but you gotta stop eating meat.
I wonder, gosh, that is so weird. That just made me think of like another character trait that um like have you ever met somebody and talked with somebody who just does not listen at all, like
Yeah,
basically they just want to talk, and
totally.
so you could have a conversation with the person like this,
Yeah.
and you're having a conversation but it's not really a dialogue,
Uh,
it's like a monologue but on their side, because
I totally have lived with people like that.
you're talking and you're like waiting for a two-way conversation and like a response, but all you get back from the other person is just talk, talk, talk that is all about what they want to talk about.
It's like
I
when you're in their presence, it's a soliloquy that you're privy to.
Yeah, you're it's like they almost would prefer for you to just be an NPC so that you could just
Mhm.
be there, so that they could like have their conversation and you don't really like
Laugh at their
disturb it.
jokes,
Yeah. But
just kind of agree and nod.
yeah, you don't ever really have to say anything because they don't let you get a word in. I'm wondering if those people are actually NPCs.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they're just here to like, either cause an annoyance for us or
Totally. NPCs, well,
you know,
NPCs can totally be talkative.
yeah.
They can just be chatty Cathy's.
They just kind of stick to their internal script. They can't like improv with you.
And I wonder if
They,
I
they've
wonder if
been programmed.
I wonder if Candace Owens might be like that.
Yeah.
because Candace Owens kind of talks a lot,
Yeah.
but she's kind of a clone.
Mm.
And what if Candace is a clone? Because remember, she was kind of diverting people away from Erica Kirk.
Epiphany.
Yeah.
What if, what if all the CO, the controlled opposition, are
That's
clones?
right.
Maybe they are clones that are programmed to do these things,
That's what they're programmed to
to
do.
keep our, like, to get our attention away from what's really going on and keep us distracted, but they stay on task.
I love
They
that.
stay on task to do what they're told.
Because what did we say? We
And
live on. Oh, go ahead.
and they don't have to like really think about it or feel guilty about it or even worry about what they're
No,
doing because they've just been programmed to do
the
this.
clone is programmed. They don't have a conscience. They don't have a soul.
Oh my gosh, Epiphany.
Epiphany, epiphany, epiphany.
So this kind of goes back to our Severance episode.
Yes.
Remember how we talked about Severance and how after I saw that show, it was like this huge revelation for me. And I thought maybe this is how these people are doing these evil psychopathic things in the world
Yes.
because they don't know they're doing them. They're Severance. Well, maybe they're all clones.
That's how they do it. You don't have to brainwash them or brain chip them. They can just go and carry out their programming without any second guessing.
Mm.
Totally. I love this idea because the whole idea is that clones are easily manipulable. The controlled opposition, they're corralling you because what we do is we live on Alligator Alcatraz. We live on Alligator Alcatraz. We're not allowed to say things that they don't want us to say. So they just program the clones in the controlled opposition podcast sphere to corral people into Alligator Alcatraz. And I'm thinking that totally makes sense that anybody who's got a big platform is probably a clone.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker, probably a clone.
Mm-hmm.
Megan Fox, probably a clone. Oh, not Megan Fox. Who's the
Megyn Kelly.
Megyn
Is
Kelly?
that her name?
Megyn Kelly, the one from Fox News.
Yeah.
Which is kind of confusing. It's Megan Fox and Megyn Kelly from Fox News. But anyways, and she kind of looks like Megyn Kelly kind of looks like so many other blonde girls. Have you noticed?
Mhm.
She's got that look where it's almost
They
like
all
a
have the
clone.
same look.
Like she looks kind of like Martha Stewart. She's just a little older model.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same hair, the same makeup, the same kind of physical traits. It's like big boobs and blonde and just like perfect makeup. And it's like, well, you almost seem fake. So I'm wondering if maybe those are clones and they're programmed to keep people on the Alligator
Plantation.
Alcatraz,
On the plantation.
on the plantation, and you're not allowed to have a platform because the platform is tightly controlled by AI bots. And so AI is like a big robot, and it's only going to allow its robots to have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to break out of Alligator Alcatraz. And I think so. What is white pill?
White pill.
White pill is you have to have a soul.
Yeah.
Because what does she tell Ryan Gosling? Robin Wright Penn.
Well, you've never had a soul before, so you don't really need one
You don't
now.
really need one.
Right.
And then he just kind of is like the dad that you say, look at this list of side effects from the shots. And he goes, come on, son. Like that's how Ryan Gosling just goes, yeah, that's fine.
Right. So the difference between a real human and a clone is the soul.
That's it.
So, wow, Epiphany. I've met people in my life who seem to be soulless.
Yes.
I wonder if they were clones and
They were clones.
pieces
Well, I think there's two different.
or psychopaths.
I think there's two things. Yeah, I was just gonna say you could be dealing with a clone or a psychopath,
Right.
because psychopaths kind of take on clone.
So how do you tell the difference between a clone and a
That's the
psychopath?
thing. That's the thing.
It's either a mindless NPC or it's somebody that's gonna like kill you.
Well, like Harrison Ford in the original Blade Runner, that he's a real human and he is able to catch on to very subtle cues that help him to discern that that's a clone. So maybe what the Culture Club is telling us in revealing the method through Blade Runner is if you have acute discernment, you'll be able to tell the difference between a real human and a clone. And maybe that only comes through being spiritual and being in touch with your soul. And if you turn off your conscience and become a psychopath, maybe your soul goes to sleep
Mm.
and you become kind of like a clone, even though you're not a clone, you're a human, but you're kind of acting like a clone.
I know. It's weird. Like I've had like I don't know, it seems like in the last several years I've gotten more I guess I don't know if it's impatient with people or what the word would be, but it's almost like I can tell right away when somebody just seems to be totally out of touch
Mhm.
and clueless about like what's happening in the world. And I
If they've
just
got tattoos on their face and wearing a mask, you might immediately jump to the conclusion that I can't relate to this person.
yeah, or you start talking to them and within a few minutes it's like I don't know, I can kind of tell that there's just not a lot of depth to this person. You know what I mean? Like they're just very surface. Everything's very surface.
So one of two things. Either that is a clone, you're speaking to a person that is a replicant, or that person through fear and media brainwashing has turned off their soul and now is essentially rendered into a state where they're a walker, which is kind of like a clone.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Walkers, we talk about walkers a lot. Walkers kind of are humans that act like clones.
Totally. They're totally like maybe, oh my gosh,
Hmm.
maybe the walkers are all just like NPCs.
Yeah,
They're all clones. They're soulless.
there could be a lot of clones.
And so this is why, oh my gosh. So this is why so many of them just go along like sheep and do whatever they're told because they're all just sort of mindless programmed. But what that does is because so many people are followers, the people that are actually like real human beings see all of these clones, these NPCs,
Emulate them.
they emulate them like so when they're all lining up to get like injected with poison and they're even watching them drop in front of them, they're still just going to line up and take the poison also because they're just going to follow along.
Or they're going to see that everyone's going to Starbucks, so I'm going to go drink that mind control coffee too.
Mhm.
I'm going to just go to Starbucks.
Mhm.
Or everyone else is doing this, I'm going to do that too. And I think that's what ends up happening is the elites have decided.
They know that people are followers.
So maybe what the elites are doing is they're trying to lull the humans into this stupor where they become a walker, and then like the pied piper leading rats through the streets is going to lead the humans to their demise. But they also have this race of clones that they've created, and
To
they're going to be the slave
oh
population.
my gosh. And so what else it does is it creates this, it's like a hype. It's a hyped up scenario. So because people are followers and they follow what they think is popular, it's like, oh, I've got, 8 million followers on YouTube or whatever. Then the masses like gravitate towards that because they're like, oh my gosh, it's so popular. So
That's what you're
it,
supposed to do.
yeah. So maybe they've created these clones to lead the way
That's
to
right.
make it seem like there's thousands of people that are doing this. They're all going lining up to get injected or they're all going to do this. And then the masses see this and they're like, oh, this is a really the
And you're
popular thing to
thinking to
do.
yourself, how can that person be so soulless as to become controlled opposition and lead people to their demise? And you go, oh, it's a clone that's programmed. It doesn't have a soul, it doesn't have a conscience. There is no conscience burdening these people.
Mm.
So they have no problem leading people like controlled opposition and aligning themselves with Satan. Satan can use them. Satan programmed. Satan was like, good, good, good.
Is it too far-fetched to think that this could be actually happening because they've been making movies with these storylines for
We
decades?
just mentioned two.
Yeah, and I mean decades. So, when they have a a premise for a movie, I don't think it's all just always
Is it a
about somebody's
coincidence?
imagination. You
Is
know
it a
what I mean?
coincidence that the Star Wars franchise had one called the Clone Wars?
Oh.
And then if you look at The Matrix, which was another huge movie, they go into this whole idea of everyone being clones and everyone's just becomes Agent Smith. That there's too much revealing of the method going on with clones. And then you have that guy coming out in 1971 in Time magazine saying human cloning is real
Right.
and it's going to become a big issue.
And I don't think that, like I was starting to say, it's necessarily just fiction in somebody's imagination when they come up with these stories for movies or for books. Like you mentioned the writer of who was the writer?
Philip K. Dick,
Yeah, he was privy to the plan. And I think um I heard that Huxley, the writer of
Aldous Huxley.
yeah, the writer of Brave New World,
Mhm.
he was part of the Culture Club.
His brother, too.
And
His brother was Julian Huxley.
yeah, and he I believe he was wasn't he friends or he was associated with George Orwell, who they say was a like a prodigy and knew all of this stuff,
He had privy to the cult
but
plans,
was
too.
it possible that, yeah, maybe he just had inside knowledge, either being a friend of somebody or who knows what, but
There's always
he
we
knew
gotta
what
do
he
we
knew
have
the
to
plan.
do a episode on connections too,
Mhm,
because remember I was watching that Satanist went to that big chateau in France and he
mhm.
was talking about all the different statues and he was saying Napoleon's brother was in the Culture Club. So
They're
like
all connected.
Napoleon Bonaparte had a brother who was in the Culture Club, and Julian Huxley is Aldous Huxley's brother that's in the Culture Club. So they're connected.
Well, it's always weird to me also when you even look at like Hollywood. It's all about like, oh, here's this star. Oh, he's so and so's brother. Like I just saw that movie, Now You See Me, the latest Now You See Me,
Mm.
and it's got one of the actors in it. I'm so bad with names when I try to think.
Woody
Not Woody, the younger guy. Not
Eisen.
no, the other kind of cute guy. He is the younger brother of this guy who was pretty popular about 10 years ago in movies. And then he sort of like supposedly was accused of date rape or something. And now he's been out of the picture.
If it wasn't for date rape, I'd never get laid.
But my point is, are these actors so fantastic that they can't pick anybody else out of the millions of people who want to be actors in
I'm
Hollywood?
starting to see
That
that
they have to pick, like, it's just coincidental that everybody's brother and
people
sister.
have certain tastes, and the
Mhm.
media needs to be so powerful that the elites, the controllers, Satan,
Yeah.
that's what I think it is. Satan has his minions and they control things, micromanage. So what Satan did is good, 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 good. What we want to do is we found that these certain people have physical traits that work on audiences. So we're going to clone them.
Well, I don't even think I think that's what's happening for sure. But I think also it's about nepotism. You know what I mean?
Well, you have to
They're
be in the
all
culture club.
they're all in the culture club.
Like Sean Penn
Hmm.
and Charlie Sheen, when you look at their backstories, both of them were born into the culture club because of their families.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, we grew up in Malibu.
I mean, Dave Franco. That's who I was
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
of. Isn't he the younger brother of
Franco. I can't stand that
he's the
guy.
younger
What's his
brother.
name? John Franco? No.
He's
He
uh
was in Planet of the Apes.
he's been in a bunch of
He
stuff.
was in the Hawaiian Tropic. Or what was
Um
that movie?
but my point is that these people are not such amazing actors that they just coincidentally happen to be related to somebody else who's
No.
also an A-lister. How do you have like two A-listers in one family? They're both so amazing that, it just runs in the
Like Charlie
family.
Sheen and Emilio Estevez and Martin Sheen are
Yeah,
all just big
they're just so
household
amazing.
names. No.
Yeah.
No, they've all so there's people sell their souls. That's one thing, but also now I'm starting to think maybe there's clones that are actors because their physical traits are conducive and they're able to use them because Satan really loves to use the media.
Totally.
He loves to use the media in order to control people, and he's found that certain physical attributes are conducive. Plus, people might be like, well, I don't know this actor, so I'm not going to enjoy this movie as much. I can't get sutured into the narrative as much.
His brother is James Franco.
Yeah, and I can't stand that guy.
Yeah.
That guy,
But
he
they're
just,
but they're so both so amazing that they're both like big Hollywood stars. I mean, this happens all the time.
I think he's in that
Like the
country from
old
1948.
the Olsen sisters and like there's like all
They
these
might have been cloned.
they might have been cloned. There's all these incidents where there's brothers, there's sisters, there's kids of, and they're all A-list movie stars.
How many A-listers do you see that they were just nobody and they just were just a regular human being and just happened to have a lot of charisma and a lot of pizzazz and they got to become a big star
Well, that
unless they sell their soul.
that almost never happens, but those ones sell their soul.
They have to sell their soul.
That's how they get
I think there are people like that. It's like, wow, you got so much charisma.
yeah.
You don't just get to be an A-lister just based on the charisma.
No.
And Tucker Carlson, we talked about him. It's like, oh, his dad's in the CIA. Tucker Carlson didn't forge his career through hard work and determination.
So that's another whole thing. These people all have like government connections too. You know what I mean? How coincidental is that?
Who were we talking about the other day? It's like, oh, their dad's in the CIA. It was like Rob McCoy. I'm gonna start a church, and
It's
just
gonna have thousands of followers.
thousands of people are gonna come, and then Charlie Kirk.
It just so happens that these people have government ties. So
and then, but my dad was in the CIA. But then now I have all these famous people coming to my church, and that's just all organic. Shut up.
yeah. um. So if you have a clone, do you think all aspects are an exact duplicate? Like, what about fingerprints? Like in that movie, The Island, he had to start his car with his finger, like it read his fingerprint. And that scene with Ewan McGregor where they were both of him, it was his clone and him. And he was like so impressed. He was like, wow, they got every detail down because even his fingerprint work. Do you think that that is how it would be? Would they be identical in every possible way? Like,
Possibly. Although, you know what's so weird? I just heard a random fact about fingerprinting. AI can't be used to fingerprint people. It has to be a human
mm,
because only a human being can decipher the differences between fingerprints to that level of detail to be able to say, no, this is not the same person as
that's
this.
interesting because I would actually think that that would be something that AI would be able to do better than a human
I thought so
because
too,
it's
but
so detailed.
I was reading some article and it was like, what kind of jobs are AI proof? Because now there's this whole narrative of fear, and it's like MK Ultra, like um, trauma-based mind control. And the
Yeah,
trauma-based mind control these days is AI is taking over, and you're not going to have a job. And
right.
so now they have people sitting there kind of going, well, what jobs are AI proof?
Oh,
And they were saying, well, deciphering
so
fingerprints.
you could train for that and like get a job at a police station or something and be a fingerprint reader.
Yeah.
So do you think like every other aspect would be identical too? Like what if you were married to somebody and that person like went away and their clone came back? Do you think you would know the difference like if you were
I
like having
would.
sex with that person?
I would because like when I've been in love, I connect with the person.
And you think the clone would not have the soul
That's it.
to be able to do the
I
connection?
see, for me, my relationship and my love is not just about a physical body.
So the physical part might be
Still good.
identical, but the lack of soul would create the
Well,
problem.
like, you and I do this sometimes.
Mm,
Like, I'll complete your thought because we've been doing the podcast so long.
yeah.
I'll complete your thought. Well, I wouldn't be able to do that with
So
a clone.
maybe a clone wouldn't be able to do that.
No.
Mm.
They might be able to look at data and say, well, based upon the data, there's a 94.7 percent chance that you were going to say this, but there's that 5.8% chance that I didn't say that.
Yeah.
But see, somebody who's just connected with me spiritually and just has, because there's, I believe that humans can have a connection that's supernatural.
Yeah.
That's beyond reason. And you can be connected with somebody and complete their sentences and be very in touch with somebody. And that can only be done through a spiritual connection.
Or through, yeah, and through like time spent with that person. So, like, these clones that were on this, in this institution in that movie, um, I guess what they did was they sort of injected them with, like, memories, but they were very superficial.
Oh, I just had an epiphany.
What?
You know how we love dolphins and we love that movie Flipper, that show Flipper? Okay, so dolphins live in pods
Huh?
and they communicate with each other electronically. And they're like, "Eh, eh." And so what if you just as an experiment created a clone dolphin and
Mm.
you gave it like electromagnetic pulses that it's sending out, but would the other dolphins be like, like, no,
They would I think dolphins are smarter than
they're smart.
people, so they would probably
So they
know.
would probably know. They'd be like, they'd be like knowing that that's a clone. They'd
Yeah,
be like, you're not real.
yeah, they
And
would
they,
probably shun that dolphin.
yeah,
That dolphin would be like outcast and it would sink to the bottom.
yeah,
Remember how we talked about that?
yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah,
That, oh, you mean when
when they take him to SeaWorld
yeah, you're
and
here. This is your new home, and the dude just goes
they
down to the
just
bottom and
sink
just
to the
go, I
bottom.
don't want to live here.
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe that's how we have to be
Oh, well, that's a good point.
because dolphins know that that dolphin's a clone, and they're like, "Shit."
Yeah.
We have to be like,
Well, you know what, Firefly? I think we kind of are like that because we kind of shun the walkers.
we can
You know what
tell.
I mean? We
I
kind
think
of,
that's our white pill.
yeah.
What's the white pill in this episode? Because the black pill of this episode is there's these elites, they're cloning people
It,
and they're trying to like
it's
exterminate us.
enslave us, and AI is going to take over with all of these clones.
I think it's not enslave. This is if you want to boil down the elite's plan, I don't think enslave is what we're in now.
Mhm.
But then it's also like, okay, enslave is good, but exterminate.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Enslave first, but then exterminate.
Yeah,
15-minute city is not where you go live, it's where you go die.
right.
So they want to exterminate us. But white pill is if you have a spirit and you have a soul, and the only way that your soul is going to stay alive is if you do the right thing. What if it's that?
Yeah.
You have to do the right thing.
I think you should always do the right thing.
Because if you acquiesce to evil, maybe your soul goes to sleep and then you
You know
lose the
what?
ability to discern.
Totally. And that's why, like, during the whole Cooties fiasco, I was like, you and I were both like trying to spread the word and show people the lies that were happening.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, you know what? I don't know how many people are listening to this, but I have to do the right thing. And I think a lot of people knew that they were doing the wrong thing and they acquiesced. It wasn't the people who were scared and terrified and did followed along. It was the people who were like knew that it was wrong and they acquiesced. And I think those people lost some of their soul by doing so.
Like, you remember how Nicole Kidman did Dead Calm and her butt was big and round and perfect.
You love
And
that.
then she sold her soul and then she did Eyes Wide Shut. And now her eyes looked all sunken and her butt was all narrow. I think that's kind of what happens when you acquiesce.
Lose your butt.
You lose your butt and your soul. It's like as you lose your soul, your butt gets more narrow and sinewy, and it's like you're not as hot anymore. I think that's how it is.
Yeah.
Because I think that way. Because I look at certain actresses, and once they sell their soul, you can kind of tell.
You can kind of tell.
Or like remember when Bono sold his soul? Like he came out with "Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For," and it's like such a good song, and then it's like it's a beautiful thing. And you're like, what happened? That's so like even my soul
But
abhors that
you know
song.
what? You're so right because I've seen so many movies where there's an actress that I remember from like a long time before who was like really beautiful or whatever. And then suddenly they just have a very empty look on their face.
Exactly.
It's not all about just like getting older. It's about there's something missing. Like you
Yeah.
can just see like it seems like their soul is no longer there.
Meryl Streep, I think, an example.
Yeah.
Like
Julia
Meryl Streep.
Roberts.
Julia Roberts, get out of my line of sight. No, but but Meryl Streep is an example. Meryl Streep did this movie back in the 80s. It was called The House of the Spirits,
Mhm.
and it had Jeremy Irons
Mhm.
and her. And it was a period movie. I think it took place like in Mexico in the 1800s.
Mhm.
And she was so beautiful in that movie. like I loved her in that movie. But then I look at her now and I'm like,
Mm,
what happened to you, Meryl?
hmm.
Like, you kind of sold your soul. You acquiesced. And I think incrementally, as you make acquiescence to Satan, you slowly but surely
Your soul gets chipped away.
you get chipped
Maybe it
away.
doesn't always happen like it's not always just plucked out like all at once.
Uh,
Maybe it can happen like in increments where it just gets chipped away little by little.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so also, I think in conjunction with that, what if your discernment starts to delude?
Hmm.
And now you just totally get taken for a ride by Satan.
Yeah.
You swallow his lies.
Well, I think when you acquiesce, like a lot of the people did during Cooties, I think you do lose part of your soul. And I think that that definitely has an effect
Yeah.
on you as a person.
And that's dangerous these days because people think, whatever, who
Yeah.
cares if people acquiesce to Satan? Well, now it's getting to the point where AI and clones are going to kill you. You have to separate yourself from AI and clones.
When you acquiesce, you allow more and more evil to take over. So that's why
Yes,
it's so important. And
that's right.
that's why, people acquiescing, it doesn't just hurt themselves, it hurts everybody,
Yeah,
you
because
know.
now, ugh, that's kind of a disgusting epiphany I just had.
Mm.
Or, ugh. So that means when you look around at society and you see how gross it is, because I think society's gross
It's
right now.
gross.
And when you look around and you see, you go, you know what might be going on is our society is being run by clones and triple M's to the P.
Hmm.
That's all there is.
Mini micromanage.
It's a difficult one, but it's very specific. No, 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 no. Here. I'll help you because it is. It's a mouthful. It's hold on, I'll do. It's mini micro. Oh, no, it's mini megalomaniac psychopath micromanagers.
Micromanagers.
Mini megalomaniac psychopath
Triple
micromanagers.
M to the P's.
Triple M to the P. So those people are pretty much like clones because a mini megalomaniac psychopath micromanager has turned off their conscience and now they're psychopaths. They like hurting you.
They like
So
telling you what to do.
their conscience doesn't like afflict them when
Right.
they do evil.
No.
That's, I think, the common predicate. Oh my
They have
God,
no empathy.
that's the common predicate.
Mhm.
So the clones and triple M's to the P, they don't have any more compassion and empathy.
No.
They're psychopaths now. So they're all able to just do evil like the Severance episode.
Mhm.
They can carry out evil and then just go home and say, "What's for dinner, honey?"
Totally.
The difference is people like you and me say, "No, I don't want to do evil. I'm not going to acquiesce to evil."
And this is why the culture club doesn't
Mhm.
like us or people like us. And this is why it's so important to for us to talk about these things so that other people who understand this and know what's happening will talk about it also, because I think that the louder this whole idea gets and the more it's spread, I think the harder it will be for the psychopaths to take over.
No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And if people, it's very easy to accept our white pill and be white pill. It's very easy. All you do is follow your heart and do the right thing. It's easy to do because if you follow your heart and do the right thing, then you're going to be red pilled and you're going to be white pilled and you're going to have hope. And then you're not going to be sucked into all of their agenda because what it is Satan has a plan, but his plans can be thwarted.
Totally.
We are the thwarters.
We're the bubble
We're
bursters.
the bubble bursters. And actually bursting someone's bubble so you can kind of I think another white pill for this episode is you can kind of break a triple M to the P out of their stupor.
Mm.
You can take a walker and go they can wake up and become white and red pill. So that's this is such a profound episode because it's kind of a
Totally.
global phenomena. The elites want to exterminate the human race and use clones as a slave race to carry out their wishes.
Yeah, and to live like eternal life.
And they want, because we've talked about that. Why do the elites desperately want to live forever because they know when they die, they've already made their bed.
They're going to hell.
Yeah, Satan's gonna be right there on the other side going, "Oh, good, Peter Thiel, how you doing? How you
Mhm.
doing? Now, just like we agreed, here's your fiery
Jump into the
wrestling.
flames.
Exactly. I hope you had fun on Earth." Because now they know. See, well, so this gets into kind of like a spiritual thing, but like if you believe in God and the Bible, then you believe that when you die, you go live with God forever in heaven, and you're not afraid of death. You understand that this world's passing away, and you're not supposed to be attached to the things of this world. You're supposed to be ready to go live with God in eternity, and you're spiritual. So maybe that's kind of the predicate of this episode. You're not supposed to be clinging to this life, willing to do anything just for some money and some power here on earth.
But while we're here, we are going to do everything we can to make this place uh, stay nice for our children and to not become hell on earth.
You know what? That
Right?
that pretty much sums up like maybe the mission statement for our podcast
Yeah.
right there. Because both of us have kids. And when you have kids, you can't become a nihilist. What's a nihilist? A nihilist is someone who's just like, yeah, whatever. They're black pilled and they don't really care if the human race is screwed
Yeah.
and that dystopian future is all there
They're
is.
like, I'm just going to enjoy things while I'm here and whatever happens later is fine.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
My conscience won't let me because I have a beautiful daughter. I need to make sure that her future is beautiful.
Right.
And my responsibility as a human being is to ensure that her future is there for her.
You know what? I think about like a lot of kids in the future. Like, I don't want kids to grow up with like this dystopian hellscape that it seems like the elites are trying to plan for us. Because like I want, you know, my kid, but I think about like, okay, my grandkids and my you know what I mean? Like I want the future to be normal and I want every generation to be able to enjoy what we had, you
And
know?
what my spirit tells me is that we're on the verge of Renaissance 2.0.
Mm,
Renaissance 2.0. We're in the dark ages right now.
yeah.
Everybody's kind of a clone or a walker, and everybody's got this real kind of dark zombie like worldview now.
Totally.
But there could be an awakening.
I think there is. I
There
think
could be a
there's a
renaissance
renaissance. And I think having these conversations is part of it. You know, we can just keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully more people will listen and talk about these things. And that will kind of ignite a renaissance.
because the renaissance maybe might be just as simple as a little tilt in perspective.
Yeah.
Remember my girlfriend in college? She didn't do it, but she said that. That was her advice for me. Because I was always grumpy when I was in college. I'd get in a bad mood. And she was right. And I'd be just like, oh, I'm in a bad mood today. And she would be like, all you gotta do is tilt your perspective a little bit, and then you'll have a happy disposition.
Mm.
And she didn't practice it, but she was right.
That was actually good advice.
It was such good advice, and I'm wondering if that might be the white pill. Just tilt your perspective a little bit, and you can break free from the conditioning.
Now, that's not saying just stick your head in the sand and take a blue pill.
Mhm.
That's a different,
No,
right?
it's perspective is being white pilled instead of black pilled.
Yeah.
A black pill is just like a nihilist.
Yeah, or like when one of my friends when I said that I didn't trust any of the people leading our world and everything, and they were like, "Oh, that's so doom and gloom. What a horrible like way to think." Like they
That's not the
they
solution.
they thought that that was black pill, and I'm like, yeah, it's
The
totally not black
solution is
pill.
not to just take a blue pill because the reality is too gnarly.
Yeah.
My mom just went on a retreat for 5 days, and she didn't have her phone with her for 5 days. And she just didn't talk to anybody. She just meditated and prayed and didn't have her phone for 5 days. And she said she felt so clear. And when she's come back, I can see a difference in her. She's got all of this, because my dad just died and she's had to go through a gnarly year,
Yeah.
but she's got all of this life and revival and she looks great.
Wow.
And I'm wondering if it was just tuning out the phone for a little while, not having any human input in your mind, then you get in touch with what's real for a little bit.
Interesting. I think it's good to put away your phone for a while.
I think
Like
so.
I was telling you before we started recording, I usually like I don't check email on the weekends or when I go on vacation, I don't check email. And I try not to really like use my phone a lot, like for texting or anything like that when I'm like on vacation.
Yeah, maybe that's the white pill to help you keep the proper perspective. Because perspective is what's going to be the key. You're going to have to keep things in perspective. Otherwise, you're going to get black pilled. And then if you get Eeyored, you're going to acquiesce to the culture club and you're going to become a triple M to the P.
Yeah. But we like to Tigger people.
Tigger.
Yeah.
Don't Eeyore.
Don't
Who Tigger.
don't Eeyore.
And so that's what my girlfriend in college was trying to tell me. She was saying, you can be Tigger. All you got to do is just shift your perspective from being negative and complaining about everything to being happy and being in a good mood about everything.
Yeah.
And it seems so simple, but it really is like that.
Yeah.
And I think you have to do that these days. Otherwise, we could run into AI and clones taking over.
I know. I'm gonna start watching for them now, like in daily life.
Like you got to be like Harrison Ford.
Uh-huh.
You're going to be
I'm
able to
gonna
discern that
start.
that's a replicant.
I'm gonna start looking for them.
What if like our job in the future is to go hunt down
We're
clones?
clone hunters,
Yeah.
like Ghostbusters,
How about like Stu Peters?
like clone hunters.
Like
Yeah,
Stu Peters, his old job, he was
bounty hunter.
dog bounty hunter.
Yeah,
We're gonna be like Dog the clone hunter.
clone hunters.
That could be cool. Maybe that's gonna be necessary in the future is like people who have the discernment and go, well, I can tell that's a clone. Let's just go exterminate that. But what if you make a mistake and it's like, no, 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 I'm just a triple M to the P. Oh, darn it. Yeah, well.
Close enough. Oh, that was
You have any other white pills you want to prescribe for this one? This was a great episode.
no. I think that was awesome.
That was good.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.